Hi, this is Gretchen Mowney, they, she, and I'm the UUA's Accessibility Resources Coordinator. I'm a multiply disabled, elder millennial, white with pale skin, and I have blue bobbed hair. I am wearing a black blazer with a Kelly green blouse, got a couple pairs of headphones in, and some rainbow chalice earrings. My background shows some spring flowers.
Hello, my name is Caden Colton. I do not have any pronouns, so please use my name in place of pronouns. I am a board member of Equal Access, a community minister for South Valley Unitarian Universalist Society, and a seminarian. I am a white, non-binary human. I have short, dirty blonde hair and a short beard. I am wearing a black polo shirt, and my background shows a white wall with an outline for an entryway.
And I am the Reverend Dr. Kimmy Floyd Reich. My pronouns are they, them. I am the LGBTQ and Multicultural Events Coordinator for the Unitarian Universalist Association. I come to you today from my home office in West Columbia, South Carolina, where you can see an array of rainbow images and pictures of White Sands National Park in the background. I am a mixed race, light-skinned person with dark eyes and very dark hair cut into a mohawk. And today I am wearing a t-shirt that says more loving, less judging. And I will be your tech person today. So I will be mostly off screen, but here and happy to join you. Thanks.
Hi, this is Gretchen again, and I'm so glad you're here. To increase accessibility, there is captioning available, and we will be describing the program's visual elements. Some slides will be shown, and they are a visual representation of what's being spoken. If this webinar is inaccessible to you in any way, please email me at gmaune@uua.org, and I will do whatever I can to help. A final note, please know that it is always okay to pause the video or leave the meeting space at any time if you're in a group. It's also okay to show up however you're able. This includes lying down, moving around, fidgeting, and more. However you show up, whoever you are beloved and welcome here. Here's an outline of what you can expect during our presentation. Our webinar is called Meeting the Moment with the Disabled Community. Got our access statement, chalice lighting, introduction of the UPLIFT Access Wave Cohort, including process, accessibility, and structure. Then a review of our covenant, music, centering moment. Then meeting the moment with the disabled community, including by the numbers, answers and shared analysis, next steps, discussion questions, closing words and extinguishing the chalice, and contact info.
The chalice that I have for us today is a small handmade chalice that is uh, green and gray. It has little dashes of darker colors going around the chalice. And the little candle inside is a uh, beehive. Our chalice lighting words come from Your Body is Welcome Here by Sean Neil Barron. Your body is welcome here. All of it. Yes, even that part. And that part. And yes, even that part. The parts you love and the parts you don't. For in this place we come with all that we are, all that we have been, and all that we are going to be. Our bodies are constantly changing. Cells die and cells are reborn. We respond to infections and disease. Sometimes we can divorce them from our bodies, and other times they become a permanent part of us. Your body and all that is uh, with within it, both wanted and not wanted, has a place here. Our bodies join in a web of co-creation, created and created, constantly changing, constantly changing us. Scarred and tattooed, tense and relaxed, diseased and cured, unfamiliar and intimate, formed in infinite diversity of creation. Your body is welcome here, all of it. So take a moment and welcome it. Take a moment to feel into it. Take a moment to be in it.
This is Gretchen again. Inspired by the opportunity created by the Meet the Moment framework introduced by our UA leadership in the fall of 2025, Hayden Colton, Reverend Dr. Kimmy Floyd Reich, and I laid the groundwork for the UPLIFT Access Wave Cohort to determine what is most needed in the disabled community in this moment, and how we, the cohort and Unitarian Universalism, can meet that need. Out of the 17 wave cohorts occurring through the Unitarian Universalist Association in the fall, this was the only one that was organized both by disabled people and for disabled people, creating a safe space for deep sharing in our community. Each cohort member came with different experiences, different wisdom, and different ideas from moving through the world in their unique body minds. But what we shared was a passion for Unitarian Universalism and a disabled identity. Our facilitation team began designing the cohort 6 weeks in advance, giving deliberate and thoughtful consideration into determining the backgrounds and identities of the people we would invite to enjoy the cohort. Based upon our own past experience with events and workshops, we determined it to be prudent to invite double the number of members we would like to engage. As frequently with any person, other obligations arise, and this occurs even more often with disabled and chronically ill individuals due to changing needs and symptoms and the precarity of services for our population. We endeavored to get as many perspectives as we could we intentionally invited both lay people and ministers, religious professionals, and seminarians. We invited many members who were multiply marginalized, being both disabled and BIPOC, and or LGBTQ+, invitees from many genders and age groups from across the United States answered the call to join our cohort. While meeting the access needs of your members is important for any Wave cohort, we put extra time into planning and preparation into accessibility, as we knew that we would have a greater number of people with unique access needs than any of the previous programs any of us had produced. Though timing matters to everyone, it can prove more critical for disabled people dealing with medications, sleep issues, attendance, appointments, and more. Once we had our list of members, we surveyed them regarding both their availability as well as their access needs. Although part of centering love is by building accessibility into your programs, it can be difficult, if not impossible, to account for all needs that might exist. We designed our gatherings to include multiple bio comfort breaks, visual descriptions, built-in pauses for questions and reading aloud the chat, and a chaplain. We were able to schedule these 3 gatherings for days and times that worked well for most everyone, and promptly booked cart captioning for them. The information we gathered from the survey also helped us to plan out our tasks, helping us to meet the needs of the members who need accessible materials in advance. We designed these gatherings around the 3 grounding questions provided by the UUA's Meet the Moment framework, simply adapted slightly for our cohort. 1, as disabled people, what is the moment we're in? 2, what are the opportunities and challenges of this moment for us? And 3, as people who identify as disabled, chronically ill, neurodivergent, or all 3, what do our shared values call us and Unitarian Universalism to do in response to this moment we're in? In addition to those overarching questions, we provided members several prompts for each, allowing them to examine various facets of each issue and look at them more closely. As alluded to before, we also did the work to promote safety and trust, to create a secure and comfortable place for members to be vulnerable, open, and creative with one another. This was accomplished first by asking in advance about access needs and providing details in advance about what types of accessibility one could expect as a default. We met in October, November, and December, and we began each gathering with a statement on access, while inviting members to communicate any needs that are not being met. We also had a chalice lighting centering inclusion for each gathering, an opportunity for introductions and check-ins, and time to create or review a covenant.
This is Kimmy Floyd again. I'm here to review our covenant. Here's what we used for our sessions. We each have the right to pass. What is shared here stays here. We will share time equally. We will be attentive listeners and not interrupt each other. We will respect diversity and value our differences. We will value all questions. We will start and end on time. Anyone is always free to take time out from the discussion or the exercises. And finally, We will allow space for mistakes. And before we return to our presentation, we are going to take just a few minutes for some music and then some centering. The following video shows Shauna Eisenberg, who is a white, trans femme presenting non-binary neurodivergent elder person. Shauna has long curly gray hair and is wearing purple framed rose tinted glasses, a multicolored purple jacket, and a lavender and purple scarf. Shauna will be playing an acoustic guitar and singing the song Heart Wide Open.
I am here with you, heart wide open, embracing what is true, heart wide open, creating a new, heart wide open, heart wide open in love. I enter this place, heart wide open, awareness of grace, heart wide open, being face to face, heart wide open, heart wide open in love. Heart wide open, heart wide open, heart wide open, heart wide open. I am here with you, heart wide open, embracing what is true, heart wide open, creating a new, heart wide open, heart wide open in love. I enter this place, heart wide open, awareness of grace, heart wide open, being face to face, heart wide open, heart wide open in love, heart wide open in love, heart wide open in love.
Let's take a few moments to center ourselves. If it is comfortable for you, take 3 breaths in and out. Move your body in ways that help relieve tension, stress, or built up energy in your body. We will delve into the answers shared by the cohort after a few moments to breathe and move.
Welcome back. This is Gretchen again. The UPLIFT Access Wave Cohort consisted of 3 gatherings, 2 hours each, 3 grounding questions with 3 rich discussions, 15 people with 45 answers, 6 hours of sharing and dreaming together as a cohort, and 6 hours of building shared analysis. Here are the answers that we heard. At the first gathering of the UPLIFT Access Wave Cohort, we took a deep dive into our first grounding question. As disabled people, what is the moment we're in? Members shared their sense of overwhelm, fear around food scarcity, threats to Medicaid, a president that doesn't care about disabled lives, and non-disabled folks in congregational leadership who sometimes don't listen to or consult disabled members. And people shared that it was a time to hold fast to one another, a moment of resistance, and even a moment of hope. At our second gathering, we explored the grounding question: what are the opportunities, needs, and challenges of this moment for us? Cohort members shared that this moment contained an opportunity to apply what we know as survivors of trauma, as people who know how to adapt, and as people who know how to ask for help. Members shared about needing accessible spaces, both in their communities and within Unitarian Universalism. Some specific observations included the challenge of speaking up when you're tired and afraid, and when your voice can't carry as far as others. And yet, how absolutely every voice is needed. Other members talked about their need for healthcare access, while some individuals talked about the threat of being targeted, especially during the past year, and the need both to feel safe and to be safe. Additionally, members said that movement organizers need to make activities and actions more accessible to disabled and chronically ill activists. For our final gathering, the cohort members discussed our third grounding question. As disabled UUs, what do our shared values call us and Unitarian Universalism to do in response to this moment we're in? The cohort shared the feeling of being called to engage in cross-disability and cross-movement solidarity, working together to fight oppression and to promote inclusion. In a similar vein, members also suggested that we could work together to begin mutual aid networks or enhance already existing ones. The cohort members affirmed again that every single voice matters, and each one should be treated with value, adding that they want underrepresented, diverse, disabled voices to be lifted up. In this moment, when we need each other more than ever, the cohort believes Unitarian Universalism is called to increase efforts around disability, justice, and accessibility, providing a space and support for all body minds. One member said, "We love this faith as much as any other UU. Please let us work alongside you in caring for the world." Many members expressed a strong desire for our congregations to make both their Sunday services as well as other programs throughout the week more accessible and inclusive of disabled congregants. Here is a list of specific aspirations for Unitarian Universalism in this moment, as provided by our cohort members. To establish a safe and supportive, regular, disabled-only space on Zoom, similar to this cohort, and a retreat for disabled UUs. To put a link to each congregation's accessibility access statement on the Find a Location tab of the UUA website. To do more to ensure that access is a given at congregations and not just something that may happen when a disabled person shows up. To equitably fund disability, justice, and accessibility work at the UUA, to reflect a percentage of the budget commensurate with the US population of disabled people, which is about 25%. To incorporate more disability content into the OWL curriculum. To substantially increase accessibility at General Assembly. To require learning around accessibility and disability justice in ministerial development. This next video shows Shauna Eisenberg again, a white trans femme presenting, non-binary, neurodivergent, elder human with long, curly, silver gray hair, wearing purple-framed, rose-tinted glasses, a dark red sweater, darker reddish scarf, playing an acoustic guitar.
I rededicate myself to love on this day, on this day. I rededicate myself to love on this day. I rededicate myself to love, rededicate myself to love, rededicate myself to love on this day. I rededicate myself to light on this day, on this day. Rededicate myself to light on this day. I rededicate myself to light, rededicate myself to light, rededicate myself to light on this day. myself to love. Rededicate myself to love. I rededicate myself to love on this day.
This is Gretchen again, talking about our next steps. With the conclusion of the UPLIFT Access Wave Cohort, we created a message in a bottle containing the answers we've just shared with you. We sent this bottle upstream to UUA leadership and requested that its contents be explored. And for facilitation members who work at the UUA, we'll look into opportunities for future disabled gatherings so that, as one member put it, we have chances to connect with others who understand the struggle of disability so we can help each other share our voices. Additionally, we will work to collaborate more frequently with other UUA staff departments and staff groups in order to increase accessibility and disability justice values in our mutual work. We've provided some discussion questions in order for you to consider what our cohort learned and how to apply it to your own work in Unitarian Universalism. First, what are 3 things you learned about how disabled UUs are asking us to meet this moment? 2, what accessible practice from our cohort design could you use in your own Wave cohort or other group in order to increase the ability of disabled people to participate? 3, what can you do to increase inclusion in your own congregation or work within Unitarian Universalism? And 4, what can you do to increase accessibility at your own congregation or work within Unitarian Universalism? We will leave you with these words from Laura Horton Ludwig. Spirit of life and love, we are here because we believe what we do matters. We are here because we believe how we live our life matters. That with every act of kindness or meanness, courage or fear, love or hate, we are weaving the fabric of the universe that holds us all. We are here because we need encouragement, because we need strength, because so often we get distracted, we get in a rush, and we don't think. We choose the easy way when the harder path is what our spirits truly long for. We are here because none of us is perfect, but together we inspire one another to try again, to take another step. We are here because we have felt the stirrings of love and grace in our hearts and hands, and we crave more of that for ourselves, but not only for ourselves, for everyone. We are here because how we live matters. Blessed be. Our chalice is now extinguished. Thank you for joining us. If you are a disabled UU who was not in our cohort, and you'd like to share your own answers to these grounding questions, please reach out to me at gmaune@uua.org.